care coach, the author, and the motivational speaker. So let's get right into it. So, welcome to the station. Hold on, y'all. This is my girl. I'm gonna tell you what. If I ever was getting in trouble at church or something like that, this was the person that I was riding with. This is my friend, my sister in Christ, my homegirl who is out here in the world doing big things. Miss Suzan Stroud. Welcome to Open for Discussion. How are you today?
You know what, Moses? I just love you. You just always have like some kind of amazing introduction whenever we chat. I feel like this tall whenever I talk to you.
Oh, I appreciate you. Hey, you know how we got down.
Yeah,
Uh,
we have a story. Like we have not a
so-
scandalous story because I ain't about to have Lou come get me
right,
out.
right, right, right.
Lou been riding with us the whole time. Lou been riding with us the whole time, just shaking her head, just shaking her head.
So it's funny how we met. We actually met at church. Um, I sat down next to you and we
Sat
kind
down
of.
behind me and annoyed me.
She said I was annoying. I don't know where that comes from.
Let me tell you. Okay, let me just briefly share this story so they can understand our history, so that they'll understand the jest that we have during this conversation. We were attending a meeting. I think it was may have been like this mass. I don't know if it was a new members meeting or if they were talking about community groups. I can't remember what it was. But you were sitting behind me and you were just cracking these jokes. I mean, they were funny, but I was like, will this guy be quiet? Like he's just talking, and I kept trying to like turn around a little bit. You try to give people a hint, but Mo don't do hints. If you know Mo don't do hints. You gotta come right out and tell Mo. And then after the meeting was over with, she Luana apologized, and then we just kind of started talking, and Mo and I had connected ever since. I mean,
Every
and
since.
we have that kind of relationship where because he affectionately called me Strudy, and I call him Mo or Moses, and we just connected, and we're able to correct one another. We're able to encourage one another.
Yeah,
We've grown up together, going on like is it almost 20 years?
almost. Let's see.
23 will be
We met
yeah.
we met in '03. We
We
met
met in
we
it was 03, yeah. It was
Yeah, it
03.
was '03.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. So I was
That's
like,
amazing.
wow.
Like, wow,
Yeah.
almost 20 years that
Almost
we've
20
been kicking it, and
years.
I love your family um and
We love
everything,
you.
and we could stay on there this thing and talk about family stories and that time that John swooped in with the ninja with the pole and flipped and flipped Junior
We
over.
love
I was
that
like,
story.
oh,
We love that
that was
story.
some stuff. But I know that you've been in this space of motivational speaking and encouraging people. What brought that on? What prompted you to start to move in the direction of becoming a motivational speaker? What was your steps? What was your process? Because I think that people have the desire to do stuff like that, but they just don't know where to begin or how to begin or what process or what steps they need to take to even get in those spaces. So, how did you end up becoming a very dynamic motivational speaker? You done some TED talks and things like that. How did that process start?
So for me, it started. I just, I was always a talker. So in my neighborhood where I grew up, it was always a neighbor. He called me walkie talkie. He said because every time I see you, you're always walking and you're talking. Your lips are always moving. You're always moving, and so that kind of stuck with me. And I think part of my nature, which I think I discovered it probably like late in life. It was probably well into my 20s or maybe early 30s. was like, you know what, I really have a way of communicating with people and providing insight that most of the time, most people that they speak to can't offer that or have not offered that. So it happened. Oh my God, I would probably say maybe 2005 or 2006. I said, you know what, I want to go to Toastmasters. I want to join a Toastmasters group. So I attended a local Toastmasters organization, and they allow you to attend free before you are forced to sign up to be a member. And I think around about the second or third one, um, another member that was, at our church, she said, you know what, I'll go to one of these meetings. Let me go check it out, because she thought it was something she wanted to do. And I think that night, I don't know if I spoke that night or I did something brief that night. And when she saw that, she said, you know what? She said, you have the knack for this. I think you could do this.
Yeah.
And she paid for my membership for that first year.
Wow.
She paid for
Wow.
my membership for that first year, and I rose in the ranks in my Toastmasters organization. I won contests. I participated. I mean, I just loved it, and I said, okay, you know what? I think I want to do this, but I really didn't know what to do. And I remember, a lot of times, for people who love to speak, if you have a conversation with anyone that's been in the game, if you've heard them, a lot of times folks will say, oh, you need to have a book. You need to write a book, because, you know, then you can kind of have something to speak from, and then you have something to draw the audience to.
Right.
And
Right.
so it happened close to my 40th birthday, where I was sitting at home in my office, and my kids were already, out of the house at that time, and I heard God say, I said, God, why am I not where I thought I would be at this time? And He told me, He said, because you don't want to be. And
Mm.
so I wrote my first book, I'm Not Successful Because I Don't Want to Be, and it was about a hard knocking. It was a hard conversation with myself. And so I think from that point, I, any opportunity that where I found myself, in a position to speak, I kind of went for it, and I could wake up and do it for free. I mean, but I ain't, but
Right.
I could.
Right. Now we won't get that bag. We won't get that bread. So if
Yeah,
somebody
you want to
goes,
do
hey, if y'all need a speaker, reach out to her. She'll speak at your event, and
Yes, I
and
will. Yes, I will.
she sure will. Hey, this is what this is about. But so in that journey, in that journey and that process of taking those initial steps, what hurdles did you clear mentally, that were there, that were kind of like the stuff lingering around saying, "Oh, you can't," or "This ain't gonna work," or those people around you saying, "Why you want to do that?" How did you overcome those hurdles and keep pressing forward to be where you are?
Well, I don't think I encountered the hurdle of people saying, why you want to do that or you can't do that. I think the biggest hurdle was myself,
Mm-hmm.
because, we people can always see things in us before we can actually see them in ourselves. And those were things that people were encouraging me to do. And I was like, man, don't nobody want to hear what I have to say. And they're like, why not? I mean, like, anytime you take the mic, or anytime I'm in a room or in a meeting, like, people always anticipate. Mo, when we were in meetings, we were the two that got in trouble all the time, because we were the ones that would say stuff that nobody else could say.
Right.
And so my biggest hurdle was, um, I would tell myself, I don't have anything to say. Nobody will want to hear what I have to say. Um, but then I had to push myself through that. And I'm like, you know what? I have something to say, and the people who it's for, then that message will reach those people. And
Yeah,
so,
that's good
so the,
stuff.
the, the, the book that I wrote, I'm Not Successful Because I Don't Want to Be. I mean, it was more of a conversation I was having with myself, and
Mm.
I wrote it as like therapy for me. And then I just did it. And then the second one I wrote was a poetry book, Sunflower Poetry Seeds for the Soul. Mo, that's the book I wrote that Sunday that I called and said, I ain't gonna be there this Sunday. Remember that?
You skip church, write a book. Yeah.
I did church, and I called.
And you
Mojo with
know
the
we talking
protocol
about that, but
was,
we ain't gonna get on that topic. But
and I said, you know what? And here's a message for somebody. And there's a message in that, and you understand it too, Mo, because you've had to do that yourself. I don't care what environment you're in or what you're doing, whether it's family, it's your career, work, social organization, religious organization. Um, your body will tell you when it's time to pull away.
yeah,
And sometimes we get caught up in being loyal to others and making a commitment to others that we forget about the commitment that we have to make to ourselves.
for
And
sure, for sure.
that
It's
Sunday or that
easy.
Saturday, I woke up, yeah, and hit the road.
It's real easy. It's real easy to be committed to a toxic situation.
Absolutely,
It is real. It's
absolutely.
real easy to be committed in that situation. But you've written 2 books.
I've written
You
three.
3 books. Okay,
So
I'm a behind.
the third
Oh,
one
I think
is
I don't have the sunflower book. I don't think
the
I had a
sunflower
poem.
one. I didn't really, yeah, that one I just kind of got away and said I'm going to write this because I always said I want to write a poetry book. I never pushed that one, but the Life Diet 365, that's the other
Yeah, I
one I'm
got
going to
that
write.
one, and I think
Yeah, that
I
one,
got both of your I got both of your other books.
both of them,
Um,
right? And so
so
that's about
it,
toxic relationships.
so in this journey um, of becoming, um, how how did the how did how did you find time to manage all the things that you were in, everything on your plate, still be a wife, still be a mother, still be active in the community? How did you find time for you in all that was going on?
Mo, that was real easy, and that's something that I always talk to when I do get the opportunity to when I because I do personal accountability coaching when I get to do that. And a lot of times what I tell people when you're setting out on that journey, you have to set time aside as if it was your part-time job. So just
Mm,
imagine if you were going to be working at your local fast food restaurant or your retail shop, and they gave you your schedule. Because if you already work full time, your schedule was definitely going to be 4 to 9, 5 to 11, or something like that. So I told myself I said I'm going to treat this like I work a part-time job 2 days a week. And so I would always set time aside on Sunday. I set 2 hours aside on a Sunday afternoon, and then I set time aside on a Thursday evening. And that was my time that I sat down and worked on my book. And I committed to that. And then there were times that I went to my favorite eatery, which was Amelie's. You know about that. And I would go there and sit down with my laptop, and I would spend maybe like 3, 4 hours on a Sunday afternoon they're writing. So it's just about saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to carve out this particular amount of time on these days to achieve um this process. And it's about commitment. It's really about making a commitment to yourself. And I think we've gotten away from that.
for sure. I think that and I talk to people a lot, as you know, and what I say is on this plate of things that's spinning, right?
Hmm.
When you start looking at the things that you can't take off this plate, the most of the things are things dealing with everybody else.
Right.
One of the first things that come off the plate is things dealing with our personal care,
Exactly.
our personal. So we have this smorgasbord of stuff happening. But when I start looking, say, I can't take job off because job is here. I can't take this off because of this. I can't take this off. Well, I don't have to work out, or I don't have to eat right, or I can then start neglecting me. And it's just the easiest thing to let go of because we feel that we're obligated and committed to all these other things. And I look at it like this: that if I'm not taking care of myself, then all those other things, it doesn't matter. You
Exactly.
know?
So because we don't want to let everyone else down, but in the meantime, we're letting ourselves down. And so when I started writing the Life Diet 365, the Life Diet 365 actually started out as a Facebook rant. And I can't remember what was going on that I was ranting about. And then I showed my husband, because he's not on social media, but I showed him the points
Of
that I
course not.
made. He's not. He's not. And
He's
he
a ninja.
said,
He can't be on social media.
and so he said, you need to make that a book. And so I looked at it and I took it down and then I kind of started putting some things together. But the thing that really pushed me was I was at work. And there are times when we're at work and we're hitting walls. Like you find yourself always going at it with people. Like you just giving it to them straight. You going off. It's just tough. And I remember going to my supervisor and I said to him, I handed him a slip about taking time off. And because I never took time off, he would always sign it. I said, no, 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 no. I'm gonna need you to read this because I'm not coming back after Thanksgiving. I'll be back on January 4th. And I took that time to write that book because that book was is about recognizing and removing toxic people from your life. And I had to first live it before I
Mhm.
could write it.
Mm. Yeah,
I had to live it before I could write it.
that's true. Can't ain't nobody gonna believe somebody ain't never got no kinks in their armor. You walk up to me and
Exactly.
your armor's still all shining and brand new. It still got the plastic on it. Like when you buy a new TV, it still got the plastic on the screen. You try and come up telling me how to fight. I'm about to get my tail whooped because you ain't fought one day in your life.
And the thing that I did was I made it personal to my life because I talked about because a lot of times when we think about toxic relationships, we always skip over our family, our immediate family, because
For
most people
sure.
don't believe that their family could be toxic. But but that is
Mm,
the first level of toxicity that we ever experience
right.
in our family. And so I talked about my children, I talked about my job, I talked about the ministry that we were in, and how I had to let go of that. And and I talk about stress. And then I talk about no being a complete sentence. And that's where the TED Talk came from.
Yeah.
That's where the TED was derived
And,
from.
and that's a powerful statement. No being a complete sentence.
No is an absolute complete sentence.
Yeah, absolutely. It has a subject. It has a predicate. It has a noun. It has a verb. Yeah, and
And
the period.
most people don't want to say they don't want to say no for fear of hurting someone's feelings. But you're saying yes to someone else when you really want to say no. And so you're saying, yes, I'll take care of you. Yes, I'll do what you're asking me to do. And yes, I'm in agreement with hurting myself, harming myself, not giving to myself. So there's a dual yes there. And most people say, well, I don't have a problem saying no. But you kind of have to evaluate it because do you
Right.
second guess it? Do you feel bad? And so that's kind of how the TED Talk was evolved. That it's titled "The Gift of No,"
So
and
so
I
and
think
I want you to give me that information so I can put it so people can go back and
okay,
and engage in your TED talk and things like that so they can watch and hear the more details and more nuggets that you laid down in that TED talk. So with with being toxic, um, you have a platform now of a motivational speaker, and I know those two marry kind of well with each other because there's always somebody that needs to be spoken to about being in a toxic relationship, and you have the wherewithal to be able to speak to that. What other things are driving you? What's on your heart? What else are you passionate about? What are you pushing towards? What are you championing right now? What is something that you're looking at saying, I support X, Y, and Z because of whatever? What are you
what
championing right now?
I think my biggest thing, and I think it evolved from the book. I champion self care.
So
And and I know that seems like it's become a buzz statement, over the last 5 years, but this I've already been doing this for 5 years
mhm.
because we encounter, and I know me personally, I encounter people. who are in relationships who are complaining about them, they're hurt from them, they got headaches, they have stomach aches, and I'm like, well, I just don't get it because I'm a very outspoken person. I'm very direct. So 99.9% of the time, it's very easy for me to say what I need to say and how I'm feeling. So when I see other people who cower, or back themselves into a corner and make themselves feel less than, or they don't feel like they have a voice, my desire is to help those individuals to find a voice, and I always find myself in those kind of conversations. So can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I always find myself in those kind of situations, and so if I'm not, championing for self care, then I run into people who are, desiring to write books because they know I've written a book, or desire to start a business or things of that nature. And I find myself pushing them. So one of my favorite tags is I inspire leaders to do what inspires them, because you really can't really work with anyone or help to move and navigate unless that person has a desire to do so. So,
So
so
you,
that's
you
my
did kind of you kind of got a little low.
yeah. Hold on. Yeah, am I back?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Um,
Cool.
yeah. So I just really try to push. I'm always encountering people who are in that space of no self care for themselves, or I find myself with people who need encouragement, in taking the next step. So I think in that, y- my tag says, I inspire leaders to do what inspires them, because you can
Mm.
only really work with someone who's inspired to do better.
Right. That's true. That is true. That's true. That's good stuff. That is some good stuff. And I'm just really excited and proud of where you are and what you're doing, and the lives that you're impacting and the things that you are changing. And uh, I seen you. I think it was last week or the week before last. I think it was last week. You stood up and gave your testimony at Life
Oh
Turn.
my God, yes.
I said,
let me
I said,
tell
she
you.
about to start preaching.
Now let me tell you, I'm gonna be honest, because I hadn't been in a couple of weeks, and so I said, well, let me go this Sunday. And so you know how we do when we get there and we don't see the pastor, we ready to leave. And so what? Let me stay. 'Cause more good, Mo.
Yeah,
Mo.
yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay, it said one of us froze up. Yeah, one of us froze up. So I get
Yeah,
there and I'm not. I wasn't gonna stay.
uh-huh.
Yeah, and I wasn't gonna stay. And then I said, well, let me get when they said they're making a testimony service, I knew people were gonna take forever to get up. So I was like, let me get up and I'll just get my testimony. And I did.
I was like, look, I said, all he need, I said, she about to start preaching. She about,
No, I'm not.
she, she,
I was trying not to. But you know what? But just a teeny bit off topic, you know, we all been dealing with this whole, pandemic and COVID, and people are afraid to talk about it. And we can't be afraid, especially if you've overcome it. You can't be afraid to talk about how how you were brought through it. And so I just
right, for
felt it
sure.
necessary. I felt that necessary to share that, because sometimes we get so afraid to share, what's going on with us, and we have to remember that someone shared an experience in their life that helped to catapult us and move us to the next level.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I think even the thing that you spoke about um, the other day when you were talking about getting your tires changed or getting your brakes
Oh my
changed.
God. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
and following and being led by that inner voice by the spirit.
Oh my
Let's talk about that for a little bit. You
God.
know, like
Okay.
what?
Well, I mean, it's one of those situations, and we all encounter this. We hear the inner voice and we just kind of dismiss it. And I'm learning not to dismiss that inner voice. So I sat down and I was so upset upset that I didn't bring my laptop because, I knew I was going to be there for about an hour or so. And I was like, dang, all I got is my phone and I'm only at 63%. Now I got to turn around and look at all these people and what's going to. And so then this lady, I noticed her. And the crazy thing about it was how I noticed her shoes. And they were pink. And pink is not my favorite color, but it was something about her shoes. So when she came and sat 2 seats away from me, I remember saying, man, there were seats right over there. Why did she come over here? So I just sat there and kept doing what I was doing, and I heard the inner voice say to me, "Ask her how she's doing." And I kind of looked out the corner of my eye. I was like, "No, I ain't doing that." So I kept on doing what I was doing on my phone, and then about 5 minutes later, the inner voice said again, "Ask her how she's doing," because no one has asked her in the past couple of days. So before I could think about it or just kind of rebel against it, I just turned and leaned over and I said, "Hey, how are you doing?" Well, and the reason why I was reluctant was because I lived in North Carolina. I was in South Carolina, and I was like, this white lady ain't gonna want to talk to me. We just in this climate where everybody looks at one another and think that they can't have a conversation. And I admit I felt that way. And I said, "How you doing?" And she kind of looked at me. She said, "I'm doing all right." And I said, "Okay, well, I said, I just had this inner voice just tell me to ask you how you were doing." And she looked at me. She said, you a Christian woman?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "I'm really not doing well." She said, this was Saturday, I think we were no, it was Monday because it was the holiday. She said Friday was the last day on my job. And she said, "I just don't know, what I'm going to do." And she started telling me a story. And I was like, whoa. And we talked for 2 hours because we didn't realize we had been sitting there for 2 hours. Because if I hadn't been talking to her, I wouldn't have been sitting there for 2 and like, where's my car? And at the
Right.
same to her again, I said, well, I'm glad that I listened to my inner voice. I said, because the inner voice said to me, "Ask her how she's doing," because no one has asked her that in a couple of days. And she looked at me and tears started coming down her eyes. And she said, "You're right. No one has." I was like, whoa,
Wow.
whoa. And she asked me if she could hug me. She said, "Because you don't know how much hope you gave me by sitting here talking to you today." She said, "I feel like you've changed my life."
Amazing. Amazing. That is I'm a people person, and so I love people. So I'm the person that would have talked to you, and you would have gave me the side eye. Like, why is he?
I've done that,
Why is he
Mo. I've
talking
done
to
that.
me?
I've done that. I've done that to you.
You have done that to me. Like, okay, like,
Don't
stop.
talk to
Like,
me
I
right
don't
now.
talk to you no more. But that is amazing. And I think that we miss a lot of opportunities because we don't really pay attention to the spirit when it's talking to us, in that subtle voice telling us to do something that contradicts something that we've already got set in our mindset. So you don't know how far that goes. You don't know that she was contemplating suicide or something like that. That little conversation could have derailed and stopped a whole chain of events
And
because
it
you.
would have because she said, and I don't mean to interrupt, but she had told me that at one point she did want to commit suicide, and I think it was probably during our COVID month because when she lost her job that Friday, it was after being carried, through the pandemic portion of the pandemic, and then the company just couldn't do it anymore. And then she told me she had never told anybody this that she had a drinking problem last year before COVID. Matter of fact, before COVID, she was going to commit suicide. She had a drinking problem right before, well, she had it before COVID, but she decided that she was going to go cold turkey. She quit
Mm,
cold turkey. I think she had joined a church and she started reading her Bible. And I said to her, I said, "God knows that you would have died in the pandemic if you did not stop drinking, because you would have been depressed and you were already in that vice." I said, "But I'm here to tell you the fact that he decided to to speak into you and have you to go cold turkey with drinking prior to the pandemic tells you that he has a greater purpose for your life." And the purpose at this point is to share this testimony, because only people who have been through this know what it's like to wake up and be a functioning alcoholic going to work, knowing just how much they
Right.
need to drink and not drink, and what they need to do and how they need to talk to people. You have an audience that you can speak to. And we talked about so much. She just could not believe. She said, I am so thankful that, because she was getting a free service. She said, I'm thankful that you got up and came to the service today, because I didn't have a service scheduled. I just drove over there,
Mm.
and they happened to have a cancellation, and they took me in.
Just so happened, right?
Yeah, just so happened. And I said, just so happened. And
Yeah, yeah,
so,
yeah.
you know, and we have to, and I hear you talk about this, even in your messages, on Sunday, just like even the way you talked about today, it's about that old nature. That old
Mhm.
nature, probably in her wouldn't have allowed her to engage with me no more than mine would have allowed me to have a conversation with her. But I mean, I never had a problem talking, to people who didn't look like me, because I went to a predominantly, white high school. But, we have to understand that things don't happen by accident, and we have to
For sure.
allow ourselves to be put um in positions. Because my husband asked me that morning, he said, "You mean you're not gonna call over there and see if they have an appointment? You're gonna drive all the way over there?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna drive over there this morning." And I wasn't expecting to get in. I was just going to make an appointment. I wasn't expecting to get an appointment. But he had another plan, and we have to listen to that
For
inner
sure. I
voice.
mean, God is 100% faithful 100% of the time, and so it's just amazing. I love hearing stories like that. It's
Oh, I know
really
you
great.
do.
I
I
just
know
love
you.
it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But okay, look. So we done talked about you blowing up. You out here on the speaking scene. You got a platform. You encouraging people. You writing books. You got some cool stuff popping off. We about to make a little shift right here.
Uh
So
oh. Uh oh.
so I'm about to shift into this thing that I call hold on, let me do it right here. And then take a look at this.
What we gonna do right here is go back, way back, back into time. Back in the day. Back down memory lane.
Uh oh.
So back down memory lane. You graduated in what?
1984.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it. 1984.
I don't
You,
mind. I don't mind.
you know, I was 11 in 1984.
Wow. Wow.
1984. So what was you doing in 1984 when you graduated? What was the
Uh,
jam that you was? Did you have the big hair? What was going on in 84 for you?
Let me tell you, in '84, I was probably wearing the mushroom with after I had taken out the black sponge rollers where you put the tissue on
Uh,
so you could get a nice you have to make sure you pick the tissue up. But there was a lot, because remember, and here's the thing, it's my favorite group to this day. Candy Girl was a hit.
it was.
Candy Girl was a hit, and I have been a New Edition fan since then. So other than my obvious hookup, if there's anybody else out there that want to hook me up, I'm down for the all six. But it was New Edition. It was Candy Girl. I even remember where I was standing when I first heard it played, like out loud outside. Like I can go back to that. That was
That
my
is.
jam, and New Edition is still my group. I mean, I'll be 55 in November, so we're all
That's
growing up
awesome.
together.
That's awesome. Well, you know we both know somebody that knows somebody that can
I know.
kind of slide you in there. We,
Like, yeah, we done already had that talk, because he was like, yeah, get ready, because I'll make it happen that you get on the stage. I said, oh, I gotta get this knee right.
oh, it's
And
too funny.
my peep, and I was telling somebody the other day, I said, I'm gonna have to get a part-time job, just so I can go and buy my tickets for the concerts when they get their schedule. And they said, but you already know somebody. I said, look, that somebody got a whole lot of somebody's pulling on them. So if I don't get it,
Nah, we
yeah,
know we
so
know we know that somebody. We just know if I got to call that somebody and say, "Yo, get me one," and I'm gonna give it to you, we gonna get you on stage. So, so I'm about to show you a picture of a current person. I want to know if
okay,
you can tell me who this current person is.
okay.
Here we go. You know who that is?
I don't see nobody.
You don't see the picture?
Yeah, right now I do. Oh, is that somebody I should know?
You should probably know him.
If he's a '90s rapper, then probably not.
He's not even a '90s rapper. He's a 2000 probably
Oh God.
15.
Oh no,
You
no,
don't know who it
no,
is?
no. Who is that?
Okay, he's a Charlotte native. He does a lot in the community.
Is that the baby?
That was the baby. So you
Oh,
was
you know what?
84. So
I know. I know. You know what? I don't know. When you said a Charlotte native, then I realized because someone I know a very personal connection to him, and she was just kind of telling me about him, and yeah. So
yeah, he do a lot in the community. So I only did that because 1984. He's a current person, so normally I would spend some time walking down memory lane in 1984. But you've already kind of walked down the things I would have asked you anyway from
oh
1984.
yeah, and
So,
LL Cool J. Yes, yes, yes.
oh
I did
yeah,
mention him.
you gotta have some LL. My radio was 84.
And yes, it was. See what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I was rolling. I remember in 1984 he was having a house party not that far. There was a house party that he was attending not that far from my house, and I wanted to go, and my mother was not up for stuff like that, and I was gonna sneak and go, but I said, man, if she got to come, she gonna drag me out of here, and that's not gonna look pretty. So
you
I had
already
to
know.
miss that.
And
I
that's
missed
old
that
school
opportunity.
parenting. Like
Yeah.
like now, if I show up, it's kind of politicking because they call the people on you. But back then, nah,
Mm-mm.
you get
I
drug out by
can't.
your hair, by your collar, by whatever they can grab to get you up out of
Yeah.
there. That
And
is
so
as
I had people in my life who knew, it was Grandmaster Flash. There was a house party I got invited to in New York. I said, I can't go, I can't cross the state line. That's asking you.
oh, that is funny. That is funny. So I got something else.
Uh-oh.
This is the fun part of it. This
All right.
is
This is
we're gonna
great.
call this right here. Can you see that?
Culture tags. Hashtag
Culture
culture tags.
tags.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna put okay, I'm gonna give you a topic. Here's your topics right here. You can choose from these topics.
Okay. Um.
Which one?
Okay.
Oh, there's another one on there that you can't see. It's called Black Twitter.
Oh no. Okay. I'll do songs and lyrics. I know that I'm gonna be wrong with that, but let's go with that.
Songs and lyrics. Okay, songs and lyrics. So have you ever played culture tags?
No, I've never heard of it.
Okay, so it's a game where they take sayings and they just make them into acronyms, right? You know how every like LOL stands for
Uh-huh.
what LOL
Laugh out
stands for.
loud. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So what this does is it takes famous sayings from different parts of culture and turn them into little small acronyms like that. So I'm gonna put it on the screen, and then I
Okay.
got to explain to you. Uh, so that you can guess what it is. This was
Okay.
pretty easy. So I'm gonna put this on the screen,
Okay.
and there we go. It's a song.
Oh yeah. It was a song
it
by
was a
Prince.
popular
Was it by
90s
Prince?
song by a popular 90 group. It was a bunch of them too. It was, I mean, like they deep. It's like 25 of them. And the song was very, very popular. So this is an acronym for the song that they sang.
Hmm.
All right, so I'll give you another clue. Um, their name was after a karate saying. The group
Oh my
name was
God.
was based off of karate.
Oh my God. I'm drawing a blank, but not a blank. I just can't articulate it.
Okay, so I'll give you the main guy in this group hosted what was the last? He hosted the show with the British guy, the rap battle.
Okay, the rap battle. Ooh,
Yeah,
I'm totally lost.
okay. Let's see. What else did he play in? The guy he played in. Did you watch Power?
No, never seen one episode.
Not okay. What else did he play in? Okay, so I can't give you that because you probably won't know anybody else. He's the most famous one out of all of them. So are you tapping out on this one?
I'm tapping out on this one because I
You
don't
tapping out
know.
on this one? That was
Who is
easy.
it?
That was cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar
Oh, I would
dollar
have never
bill,
guessed.
y'all.
We could have been here till tomorrow this time, and I would have never guessed it. Never,
Do you want
never.
to try another one? You want to try one more?
Try one more.
We'll try one more. What you want to pick from?
Um,
Hey, we still got
uh,
Black Twitter. I don't have it on there, but
no. TV and film. Let's do that one. I don't know Black Twitter.
TV and film.
Hmm.
Okay, TV and film. Let me.
This is
So,
cute. I like this.
so here we go. This is a very popular movie. The second movie just came out not too long ago, and the first movie came out 25 years ago. The second movie just came out several months ago, a few months ago, and it had a. It's about a king from Zamunda.
Coming to America?
It's coming to America. Coming to America. Okay. Now,
Uh-huh.
this portion of the song. I mean, this acronym right here.
He's not my something, but something my no.
Nah. So they were in the barbershop. You remember that scene where they were in the barbershop
Mm-hmm.
in Coming to America?
Mm-hmm.
You remember the scene? They were
Uh-huh.
talking about something specific. They were talking about boxing. And one of them,
Yeah, yeah. Uh, oh my God. I can see it, but I can't articulate it because they were talking about the black boxer and the white boxer and
yep,
who was gonna whoop whose butt and so on and so
yep.
forth. But I can't articulate what these letters mean.
Okay, so there was a scene he was talking about a boxer who had changed his name, and the boxer
Muhammad
changed.
Ali.
Okay,
Okay, Cassius Clay. Uh,
uh-huh.
yeah.
But he said
Oh,
something in that movie. He said something, and this is what that is.
what is it?
So he said he said his mama named him Clay. I'm
Oh
gonna
my
call him
God. I'm gonna call him. Oh,
Clay.
I tapped on both of those. Oh my
Oh,
God.
we got to get you up on
I
your coach
culture.
tags. We got to
Exactly.
got you engaged. But check this out, y'all. This is my friend Suzan. She is really doing some awesome dynamic things. She has some platforms that I definitely want y'all to be a part of. So jump on and hit her up on her IG at Miss Straight Talk, Go on, follow her, help her build her platform, engage in her conversations, do the thing, support the things that she's supporting, be a part of what she's doing. She is an awesome, dynamic woman. She has some great content. She got some things that she's saying. So jump on and follow her there. You can take a look at her website right here. Straight up talk. Get engaged with her. Get on her platform. Get involved in the things that she's getting involved with. She is doing some dynamic and amazing things, y'all. So go out and follow her.
And the podcast, the Life Diet 365 podcast. Definitely.
Yep.
Thank you.
Life, and I'll put that on. I'll put that up. But we won't have it now. But I definitely will put that up. And it is called the Life Diet 365 podcast, y'all. So get out, get in these spaces where she's at, support the things that she's doing, follow her, and just help blow her up, y'all. We're all in this game together. She's a really good friend of mine, and she's out doing some amazing things. So I want to be able to support her in the things that she's doing. You got anything that you want to say to the people?
Well, I want to just kind of piggyback on what you're saying. You know, I have this hashtag on my page that I have now. It's called Support Your Tribe. And I appreciate you, you know, allowing me to be on your platform. And I think what we need to do is we need to start blowing each other up instead of just, you know, spending a lot of time pushing the celebrities and all of the stuff that doesn't mean anything. You know, we got to get this grassroots thing going.
Right.
Because just because our names aren't in the big light right now, and maybe they won't be, but you know, I'm all about being significant. You know, success and significance are two different things. You could be successful and not significant. So, you know, I encourage, you know, the listeners, the viewers, the followers, you know, to support support your tribe. You know, and I appreciate you giving me this opportunity. So, you know, I always love you, Moses.
Well, hey, you know, we got history, and I know that you're doing some amazing things, and you know, I'm gonna ride with you in whatever it is that you're doing, except if you rob at a bank or something like that. And I'm telling, because I ain't going to jail, but anything other than that, I'm riding.
Hey, Mo, it's kind of like that Dasani water. We're gonna tell the truth. We're gonna back up.
Only if y'all knew. For y'all that when y'all watch this, only if y'all knew about that deciding water. It's a story behind that, and we are not about to spend no time on that today. But hey, this has been an amazing time. Hey, look, y'all, hit the like and subscribe button. Follow us, follow me on my open for discussion page. And if you have anybody that you would like for me to try to interview, or if you want to be on the show yourself, let me know. We can make that thing happen. And with that, I love y'all. And there's nothing you can do about it. And I'll catch y'all next time. All right. Peace.